So how much of this meeting was a please explain demand from China, given the latest events in Ukraine?
Well, it looks like it was, Ros, because Vladimir Putin said himself later that he's happy to answer whatever questions that the Chinese leader has. Putin is saying that now a lot to people, to the head of the Chechens the other day, said, I have questions. So the fact that no one actually wants to come out, none of his supporters, and actually criticise him. So in a way, the code is, we have questions for you. And for the Chinese leader to have questions for Vladimir Putin, it's a pretty ominous sign.
Did any actual agreement come out of this meeting?
No, there was no agreement. In fact, the statement at the end is fairly vague, doesn't mention Ukraine at all, which would be a huge loss. In fact, I think this is quite humiliating, this meeting for Vladimir Putin. He would not have got anything he wanted in the statement. There's no support for what Russia's doing in Ukraine. And in fact, the statement talks about we're going to continue in the year of sport to exchange sportsmen and women, etc. It's almost as if Vladimir Putin himself or his team sat down and wrote this statement.
So what does that statement then say about the power relationship between the two leaders?
Well, I think what it says is that there were two men in this meeting. One of them, Xi Jinping, is one of, if not the most powerful man in the world now, certainly up there. The other one is a man fighting for his political survival. Vladimir Putin is in deep trouble. As an example of the statement, it says that the Chinese official readout of what they produce later said that President Putin even wished the upcoming National Congress of the Chinese Communist Party well, and under President Xi's leadership, China will keep making new achievements. It's almost like a campaign rally for Xi Jinping.
And how much does Russia rely or need China's support in the invasion in Ukraine?
Well, they've run out of really any support now. It's sort of down to really China, Iran and North Korea. Two rogue countries there, Iran and North Korea, China a major sort of world economic force. And so the waters are really lapping in at Vladimir Putin now. He's in deep, deep trouble.
And conversely, did Vladimir Putin talk about China's increased military activity around Taiwan? Did he throw Russia's support behind that?
No, but Xi Jinping's statement did actually include what Vladimir Putin thought about Taiwan. And again, it wasn't Vladimir Putin saying this. This was the Chinese leader basically saying that Vladimir Putin completely supports what we do in our One China policy.
So a humiliated Vladimir Putin, he's not used to that. He doesn't respond well to that, does he? What could his next move be?
Well, that's the worry. He's in deep trouble at home. As an example, though, of the Taiwan situation, the Chinese statement said that President Xi appreciated Russia's adherence to the One China principle, stressing that Taiwan is part of China. The Chinese side firmly opposes Taiwan independence forces and external interference. And no country is entitled to act as a judge on the Taiwan question. So what Xi Jinping has done, masterfully, has used Vladimir Putin almost as a puppet, almost as a device for him to send a message to America about Taiwan. No external interference in Taiwan or there'll be problems. And he's just used Vladimir Putin.
It's a fascinating power play, isn't it? And just finally, what's the latest on the invasion in Ukraine? Are Ukrainian forces still continuing to make advances?
They are. They're still taking towns. The Russians are, their citizens are evacuating parts of the Donbass. They're in trouble militarily.